What is up, everyone? This is episode 2 of the Influencr Show. My name is Martin Hugh and I'll be your host for the show. On this episode, I want to talk about quantity versus quality. Which one is more important in a social media posting context? I get this question asked fairly often. People often wonder, should they post as much as possible or should they focus on quality but post less content? And my answer to that is always to focus on quality first. Once you've got that dialed in, then you can actually scale up your posting frequency. The reason why I advocate this approach is because I believe people follow pages that provide valuable content to them. If your content is not interesting, if it's not engaging, there's no reason to post 7 times a day, because that would only expose the fact that you're providing bad content or unvaluable content. So in my case, what I like to do is to focus on the quality first. Once you've had that down, it's easier to scale it up, and you're going to give people an incentive to actually follow your page, because posting a lot, if it's not something that's valuable to them, people are not going to follow your page. They're probably going to block it in some way, or if they're already following, they're probably going to unfollow it. So quality is the most important thing, first and foremost. Then once you've gotten that down, then you can move into ramping up the amount of posts that you actually do. So you might be wondering right now, how many times a week should I post, or how many times a day should I post? The answer is it depends. Depends on 2 things. 1, what social media platforms are you posting on? Number 2, what type of content are you posting? For our agency, for example, at Influencr Agency on Instagram, we're posting 4 to 5 times a day. And that is because we're a quote page where we're sharing quotes, and that is a highly engaging content, and we can allow ourselves to post 4 to 5 times a day. But on the flip side, for some of the businesses that we work with, let's say it's a dental clinic or it's a restaurant, we might post 4 to 6 times a week only. Now, the big difference between posting 4 to 5 times a day versus 4 to 6 times a week is really about the value that you're giving to your followers. The reason why with a quote page we get away with posting 4 to 5 times a day is because we're providing much value and people are interested in seeing those posts. If I was a business or handling a business account where I would sell products and services, if all of my posts or the majority of my posts were about my products and services, it would get very tiring and very bland for my followers after a while, and they'll just either hide my posts or they'll just unfollow my page or not interact with my content, which is basically the same thing. But it's always that balance of how much value are you giving and how much value are you asking for in return. There's a great book on this called Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks exactly about jabbing, which is giving value, versus giving a right hook, which is asking for something. The reason why he called his book Jab, 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 Right Hook is to give a guideline as to how many times you should give value before you ask for something. I would argue that the more value you can give, the better. If you can get yourself in a position where people follow your content and you're constantly giving value, you gain leverage, because at the time where you're going to ask for something, they're going to be loyal to your content, they're going to be loyal to your brand, and they're going to be open to whatever you're asking of them so that they can take action. Now, tying it back to how many times a week should you post, I would start with something small, posting 2 to 4 times a week, and then once you've dialed in on that quality, then you can start ramping up the quantity of posts that you actually put out. And again, be responsive and be aware of how your audience is responding to that, and always be aware of how much value you're giving versus how much you're asking for in return. That was my 2 cents on quantity versus quality. Let me know what you thought. Leave a comment, share this, pass it on. As always, I appreciate you watching, and until next time.